I need new music.
Discover new music now. JJO.
Hey everybody, this is Brian here from the band I Prevail, and we are back.
They stormed onto the scene, honestly, with that cover of Taylor Swift's Blank Space, and it's just been full throttle since then, and really have made a name for themselves and solidified, beyond a doubt, one of the true powerhouses when it comes to being heavy. Of course, I'm talking about I Prevail. Joining me, Brian. Brian, how are you, my friend?
Good, my man. We were just saying it's been way too long since we've talked, so it finally feels good to be back in the swing of things, man.
I know, man.
It felt like it never was going to come back.
I know. Well, you and I were kind of reminiscing beforehand, and we first met all those years ago in Springfield, Missouri, back when you guys were just coming off of that high from Blank Space.
Yep.
And you had your record out, you were starting to do the touring. And I mean, man, it's crazy to think that was what, in 2014, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say 2014 or 2015. Because, yeah, we put that out in 2014. So it probably was 2015. So 7 years ago at this point.
That just doesn't seem right. 7 years ago, we were young. We were young men back then. Look at us.
I know.
Well, we are super excited now because from that, we are now here, the third official studio album, which will be released on August 19th, called True Power. We've already had a couple singles on there, the latest one being Bad Things. Before that, we had Body Bag. Let's talk about the new album, man. Obviously, things have been a little crazy out there. How was this album maybe affected by the recent events, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, it got affected in quite a big way because we actually were in Europe still touring on Trauma early 2020. It was March of 2020. And basically, obviously, everything happened with COVID. Basically took us off the road to a point where all of a sudden, all of our other tours in the future were getting canceled too. We actually had a big stadium tour scheduled with Papa Roach and Five Finger Death Punch. That got canceled. We had a bunch of international things get canceled. So essentially in that moment, we had to make the decision, do we try to still hold out hope that some of these tours may happen in the future? Or do we just kind of say, hey, we're back into writing mode and going to start working for this next record? So we did eventually make the call because so many of the tours just looked like they wouldn't happen to get in the studio. So that's where it's been nice. We had about 2 years to really, really just go at this thing and kind of keep everybody else just out of this circle. We had a very, very small circle on this record cycle, and I feel like that's why it feels so cohesive. And I just feel so confident in the record in terms of Trauma was a record that I feel like I had a lot of dark thoughts in it. We talked about depression. There's a song about Eric's friend who committed suicide, some very, very heavy things, and it really was about kind of recovering from your trauma, where this record is kind of the progression of that, going from recovering from your trauma to finding your true power and finding out how to adapt to that trauma and be able to kind of take the things that happen to you in life and have confidence with them and be able to progress and kind of keep growing as a person and keep growing as an individual throughout your journey in this life.
Was that the plan originally, to kind of have a succession of themes?
No, I mean, that's kind of the craziest thing about it. I feel like there really wasn't a plan initially going into it, but I don't know. I think something with the pandemic did kind of have us reflect so much on trauma and be able to say, how do we want to have this progression kind of happen? So it almost was a happy accident that it happened, but you can kind of even see between the two album covers, like the new logo we have, there's definitely some similarities where you can see kind of the transition happening. So it was a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. But yeah, no, we're stoked with how. Yeah, but we're stoked with how it turned out for sure.
Killer, man. Well, we're excited and can't wait to hear the rest of it. Obviously, we got that little taste, 2 singles out now. Again, True Power from I Prevail coming out August 19th. Mark it on your calendars and make sure you go get it. Do you have a favorite track on the record? Maybe one that speaks to you a little bit more than the others?
It's so hard. It's like picking a favorite child. I feel like I feel like it's one of the most difficult questions an artist can answer. But for me, I mean, there's many different songs that I mess with because this record too, a lot of the songs are very different where I won't give too much away, but you're just going to be on a journey throughout this whole record. But I'll give you the acronym of it. I can't actually say what it technically means or else I'm going to give it away a little too much, but it's FWYTT. TYK, which is, I want to say it's track number 7 or 8. So if you want to put the listeners to the test to try to figure out what that means, they can try to solve it, but get it on that app.
Yeah, Wordle, something like that. I don't know.
Wordle, exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I always find it intriguing to see because so many songs, you spend so much time with them, especially with this last album, really 2 years involved in it. Do you get sick of that after that amount of time and then come back? Is there a ebb and flow with that when you spend that much time with an album?
I think you have those moments where you get like a little frustrated, like, man, why can't I get this melody improved? Or I really want to change this lyric, but I can't find anything from it. But to me, I think that's kind of the fun part of being a musician, going through kind of the peaks and valleys and the highs and lows, and really having to sit down with yourself and your other people in the room, whether it's the musicians you're working with, like the other guys in my band, or a producer we're working with, and really just kind of put your head to it and say like, hey, we're going to grind at this till we're done. And that was the cool thing with this record, where we pretty much had an open timeline where we told ourselves there are no deadlines. This record, like, we are not putting this out. And we were pretty stern with our label on that too, with, we are not going to put this out until we're happy with every melody choice, every lyric choice, making sure the track listing fits how we want it to. So as much as, I'm sure the fans got a little perturbed at times, being like, where's the new music? It's something that I do think everybody at the end of the day, whether it's the fans listening, whether it's the label who is helping push it, I think just everybody at the end of the day will be really happy we took our time with it. And I'm hoping more musicians continue to do that too, because a lot of time you're on a deadline, you're getting pushed to finish something that maybe you don't feel confident is ready to be that final product yet. So Eric and I, our other vocalists, were kind of talking about that, where we hope we kind of get into this new music renaissance in rock, where, we take a little more time putting the music together and really allow these songs to kind of shine bright and hopefully be able to kind of transcend this genre to be bigger than it already is currently.
Well, just don't do what Tool did and wait 12, 14, how long did they wait? Maybe not quite that long, all right?
Yeah, too long. Not that long.
There's a sweet spot, guys. There's a sweet spot.
Madison Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. It's JJO Discover New Music, and our guest is Brian of I Prevail.
Hey, everybody. This is Brian here from the band I Prevail, and we are back.
Really, so many people were exposed to you through YouTube, and you were a band that was really used that platform. Does that still come into effect for you guys? Is it still sometimes maybe a YouTube mindset? Has it ever been a YouTube mindset? Is that a weird way to put it? I guess it's always to me, No,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's more just the interaction mindset more than even just outside of YouTube, because I think for us, we've always been a band. I mean, I said I was working at Domino's. Eric was at IHOP. We were just dudes just trying to make this a living. I mean, I literally remember we would record out of our little storage unit. That's actually where we did the video for the cover, actually, way back in the day. So a lot of it was very, very DIY. And to this day, it's still DIY. And I think that's an approach we've always wanted to take, where it's like, hey, we have our hands in pretty much every area of what we do. Just want to be the guys that people look at and like, hey, that's a cool organic project that can just kind of keep that approach. And that's what we've done as a band. And it seems to, have paid off over the years.
That grounded mentality. And we see that, and we're excited now. You mentioned something too in there that it caught my attention, and it made me think of this. This was, I think, at the airport. I'm trying to think if it was Sonic Boom. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
You got the biggest mosh pit I have ever seen. You literally, like Moses, split the crowd.
The good old wall of death.
And you counted down, and I had never I was like, oh my God, this isn't gonna, no, are we doing this? And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. So congrats to you guys for having the coolest mosh pit, the biggest mosh pit ever.
Thanks, man. Well, you can expect the new show we're bringing this fall. You can expect us lots more of that energy to come. I'm excited for you to see kind of what we're going to be putting on with this new show. But thank you, man. Yeah, well, now you've given me a test for when we come back.
That's right.
Even a little bit bigger.
We got rapid fire in 1 second, but I do want to ask you, out of all of these genres that I Prevail falls in, what is your favorite? And I'm going to list them off. All right. I'm going to list, this is according to Wikipedia, what I Prevail falls under. Okay. So
I love it.
You got to pick your favorite. All right. So
All right, hit me.
post-hardcore, metalcore, pop punk, hard rock, metal, alternative, electronic, hip hop, trap metal, new metal, and pop.
That's a lot of genres. Can we just combine them all into one? Let
I
me
think that'd be
think.
a big one.
I think if I had to choose one, like, was rock just as one word in there? I don't think I heard it.
No, it was metalcore. Metalcore was one in there. And you had post-hardcore, metalcore. See, for me, I would lead to trap metal just because that cracks me up. I don't know why.
Let's go with trap metal. That does sound pretty fun. Normally, I would just go to rock. I would just say, like, we're a pure rock band at the end of it. But I can't believe Wikipedia doesn't even say that. So I like it. You will laugh. We were just in Australia, and we actually had a question get asked to us about, like, you guys have done so many genres. What other genre could you see yourself mixing with in the future? And this was a joke, keep in mind. So I want everybody to know that. But Eric told the kid, we might get into some country black metal. So who knows? Who knows? Now, I'm saying that's a joke, but according to Eric, that is something we may get into in the future. So
I'm gonna add it to your Wikipedia right now. Add
it into the bio.
All right. Well, I love it. Okay, I think we figured that out. Now let's do rapid fire with Brian from I Prevail. No wrong answers. Just go with your emotions. That's all you got to do. All right.
Beautiful.
Question number 1. Would you rather fly anywhere at 5 miles an hour or be able to run anywhere at 100 miles an hour?
Oh, run anywhere at 100 miles an hour. I've been watching the show called The Boys, which is all about, like, superheroes and stuff. There's a character that runs really fast. I'd be all about that life.
Except for when he literally exploded that woman when he ran
I'd be a little more cautious with my running. That's for sure.
Just a pink mist running around. I don't know. That seemed like a mess. All right. So you run anywhere. Good workout. Would you rather see Bigfoot or El Chupacabra?
Let's go Bigfoot. I feel like Bigfoot's always been, you always hear the stories and whatnot. So let's be the one to find him. And then I can sell a picture or video and I'll share it with you. We can make a bunch of money off it.
I'll take a percentage of that. Well, and you guys are Michigan boys anyway, so I think Bigfoot's pretty big in Michigan.
Yeah, I'll take you. We'll go up to the UP and we'll go see if we can't make some cash.
I love it. We'll get by Escanaba and we'll find ourselves a Bigfoot and we're gonna have a good time. All right. Would you rather take one punch from Mike Tyson or 100 punches from the Where's the Beef lady?
I don't know who the Where's the Beef lady is. So this is.
Remember that old lady? There's back in the 80s, and she always just said, "Where's the beef?" She was a little old lady. She's rest in peace. Rest in peace, little old lady.
Probably her, because Mike Tyson one punch that very well may kill me. So I'm gonna let the old beef lady. Even calling her that is funny, but if she gets 100 punches, I'll give her 100.
Could you imagine Mike Tyson in a I Prevail Wall of Death? I mean, that's just horrifying.
Yeah, pretty much. If that guy's coming at you, just get out of the way, because you're probably not coming out too bright on the other side.
Hit the ground. All right. Well, again, Brian from I Prevail, folks, the new album, August 19th, it drops. It's called True Power. You're going to want to get it. And then, of course, when you get a chance to be a part of the Wall of Death at an I Prevail show coming to your area, make sure you do it. Brian, thank you so much for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Rock, you the man. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you soon.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast. Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7, nowhere but JJO.